Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another episode of ReaperCast. Today we're going to be talking about a lot of different new cards, a lot of variety of cards coming out from different particular sets, or they're just different cards supporting different kinds of archetypes. So I have a lot to actually talk about here, so it's going to be very exciting. A lot of them also happen to be OG support as well, that came out back in the really old eras of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm very excited, so without further ado, let's just begin. So the very first cards here we're getting is some Cyberdark support. Now this will definitely be very fun because I'm already taking a glimpse at the particular pictures themselves, and these remind me of the cards used back in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So what I'm actually talking about here as the first card is Dragonroid. So it's a level 8 wind machine effect monster, 2900 attack, 1000 defense, and the first effect can only be used once per turn. So you can discard this card and activate one of these effects. So either you could add one non-wind Roid monster from your deck to your hand, or this turn the activation of your cards and effects that include an effect that fusion summons a fusion monster cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is fusion summoned this way. That's actually quite nice because I remember this from the actual anime itself. You're meant to pretty much just discard this card to the graveyard, and it has a whopping 2900 attack by the way. So when you use your Cyberdarks to just equip this card, your Cyberdarks will become really strong right off the bat. So this is already just really good support on its own. Now of course there is a drawback in this particular circumstance because it is a machine monster. So what do you do to make it a dragon monster to allow your Cyberdarks to actually be active? Well, we're going to talk about the next card. The next card we have here is called Declaration of Rebirth. It's a continuous trap card, and once per turn you can declare one type. All monsters in the graveyard becomes the declared type until the end of this turn. So you basically can turn everything in your graveyard into dragon type, so it actually makes all of your Cyberdark targets really active, and that's just quite amazing to be honest. I mean, if you think about this, yeah, it was really good in the anime when I watched it, because I still remember that particular duel. You have Cyrus actually going up against Makoto, who was using a Jinzo deck against Zane, and Zane was having heart problems, so he couldn't actually continue the duel. As a result, Cyrus kind of had to take over for that stead, and he had to somehow find a way to surpass Zane. So what did he do? He joined up his Roid deck with his brother's Cyberdark deck and essentially created something like this. So I remember this particular combo so well, and it is just brilliant to see that these two particular cards of that combo is actually being printed for the very first time. I am very excited indeed, and yeah, this is just wonderful. However, moving on here, we also have two new cards for the Ignistas. So with that being said, let's just go over them. The first card we have here is called Fighting Spirit or Fighting Spirit. Definitely really nice naming there. Normal spell card, and the first effect can only be used once per turn. And you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. First effect, target one Ignista monster in your graveyard, special summon it. Second effect, if an Ignista monster you control with 23 or more attack would be destroyed by card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. Third effect, if this card becomes banished, you can activate this effect. Your Ignista monsters with 23 or more attack cannot be destroyed by battle this turn. Definitely really nice. Just the first one is kind of like a monster reborn, but the other two following effects kind of have that extra bonus, which I just think is quite amazing to be honest. It's just really nice. However, with that being said, let's move on to the next card, which is a normal trap card called Eyes Show. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, if you control a link 3 or higher Ignista monster in the extra monster zone, special summon any number of non-linked Cybers monsters with 2300 attack from your extra deck, whose total attack is equal to or less than the attacking monster's attack until the end of the battle phase. very interesting because this particular interaction actually occurs when your opponent's about to attack you, so you might be able to combo off in the battle phase. And this is kind of like a question I've wondered about Yu-Gi-Oh and how it might actually, I guess, transcend itself, and seeing that we're starting to get more cards that allow you to do things during the battle phase, I think it's definitely a great way to evolve the game itself, you know. We ended off in the link format and we just didn't have any more new summoning mechanics, so because of that, seeing that we're now focusing on, I guess, developing the interactions with the cards in the field itself, it does make things interesting. So it's kind of like that small first step towards something that's quite big, to be honest. However, we're also getting confirmed a reprint here for Lingaribo, so this will be very fun, of course, because it's quite a hard chase card to find. It's not the most expensive, but it's definitely very difficult to find a copy of these, so to be able to get a reprint of this would be fantastic. We also have here some delays that I'll just quickly report. So it says here the Egyptian God decks have actually been delayed until June the 16th, which is quite a long time from now. And we also have the King's Court set as well, or booster set, which is also going to be delayed until the 30th of June, so very late. However, with that being said, we have one more card to go over. This one's going to be quite exciting. It's called Cyberdark World. So it's essentially a new Cyberdark support card coming out in the Cyber style structure deck. So it's a continuous spell card, and you can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. You can only use this card's name's second effect once per turn. So there are actually 3 effects here. So the first effect is when this card resolves, you can add one Cyberdark monster from your deck to your hand with a name different from the cards in your graveyard. So instantly, that's already really amazing because it's straight up just a searcher card. I would be happy with just that alone, but we still have 2 additional effects. So the second effect is during your main phase, you can immediately after this card resolves, normal summon one Cyberdark monster, which is pretty amazing because it allows you to pretty much just get things started right away, which is definitely very nice. And third effect, if you would equip a monster from your graveyard with a Cyberdark monster's effect that activates when the Cyberdark monster itself is normal or special summoned, you can equip monsters from your opponent's graveyard instead. Definitely very impressive, definitely going to be really fun. Now, we just talked about the the new card, or I guess the Declaration of Rebirth, being that you could actually just make all monsters in the grave the same type. So if you combine that card with this particular card itself, you could really make Cyberdarks a powerful deck. And I like how this card, which is meant to be brand new, somehow supports a card that is, I guess, really old from the anime that's being introduced into the actual real life world for the very first time. I have a lot of high hopes for the Cyberdark or the Cyber style structure deck, so with that being said, I am definitely now really keen to actually build that particular Cyber style structure deck. I'm really keen to just buy it now. I think if things actually stay the same for the TCG as it would the OCG with that particular structure deck, I think it quite possibly would be the best structure deck in all of history. Of course, that's assuming that nothing gets changed. But definitely leave me your thoughts as to what you think about this. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed this video, then definitely leave a like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It really helps. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next time.